Hello, I'm Otto, and welcome to episode 37 of my Factorio 2.0 guide. So I know the last two episodes were a little bit, that's fine. We're allowed to have duds every now and then. Okay, so I kind of made up my mind on what we're going to do today. I know I was a little indecisive at the last episode, but we are going to, we already almost have enough for another one of those. So let's just drop two of those. Yeah, we'll just put those there for now. Okay, so we're gonna expand our mining. We don't really have any trains going yet, and that's okay. So we're gonna tap this iron. I don't think we're gonna tap this stone yet, but I think we're gonna grab these two as well. So let's expand our, let's get our mining over here. I think I'm gonna do an L. This kind of goes completely against how I originally said we would end up doing this, but okay. So, and then we need a stacker here and here, and we need a solid provider here. We're bringing in copper ore, and here we're bringing in copper ore. As for this one, I don't. I'm not gonna go back there. Okay, so what if we put this on this side, put the stacker on this side, put the receiving end of the ore on this side, and we'll just set up the mining and drag it across the rails. Yeah, let's do that. Solid provider. And we're getting in iron ore, and again, that's all of our parameters. And oh, I can't wait until all of this stuff just kind of comes together and you can see how this works. We've got our shunting. We're kind of we don't have the requester chest, but we do have a blueprint for solid trains, and within the blueprint of the solid trains, it has a request for the bots to put in 60 rocket fuel, which we have being made over here. So we've got a decent supply. Let's just how about we just open that up? Yeah, that save, yes. Okay, so then every time a train is made, the bots will just be like, hey, okay, we're gonna grab some train parts and we're gonna grab some fuel, and it's gonna get fully fueled. We will have requester chests before they ever come close to running out of fuel. Okay, so we're just gonna do a lot of this remote view. We're gonna remove some of this. We don't need 100% of everything here, but we do need. Let's just remove these two. Okay, so let's just slam this down real quick. I want to be able to capture this. If we do it here. Okay, so I normally wouldn't have only like 900, but I want to capture that. All right, so let's use that as a starting point. Anything with less can just go. And let's just fill these guys up. We know the drill, right? And everything else we're gonna do basically, yeah, let's just say more than 1,000. Oof, that one was close. 18, so not 530 or 40, whatever. So we're gonna get iron. Oh, okay. So anytime I have a situation like this, we're just gonna have this guy just run into that belt, and we'll just even it out, or we'll just balance it. Like a lot of what we do, we just balance what we can. All right. Sure. I would say that, yeah, just almost every time you do something, just try to balance it. It's probably less important in, if you were making like a, I don't know, let's say you were doing like a mega base, like balancing is probably not as big of a deal. Like you just generally want to, did I get all the power poles? I did. Up here too? Yeah, all right. That is 4. Well, 4 into 4. All right, whatever. Nope. Balancer. I usually just, like, I get to the point where, or you do get to the point where you can just slap this down. You don't have to look at it. You just kind of know that, oh, these go together. You've got one in the middle. This needs to be a single space apart. One there with a start, and then this belt comes in here. So, I mean, but, I mean, it's, even though, whoops, even though we know how this looks, it's still often easier just to do this. Just to grab the balancer. Did I actually just do that as the blue? No, I did not. Oh, maybe I did. Okay, anyways. Ignore me. We'll place that there. Sorry, bots that were on the way, you can go back now. I don't know. I don't know why. I prefer things to line up a very specific way sometimes. It just looks nicer, that's all. Okay, and then we're gonna put 4 down. We're gonna copy and drag. Will this fit? No, it will not. You know what? We could just make it look kind of decent. No! Where are you going? What was that? Abort, abort. Oh, no. Alright. That's fine. They'll get that back. Bots are doing bot things. Let's tree deconstruct. Just get rid of all of this. You guys can give us some more tree crap. More pileage. Okay, so that's gonna go there. These can go over to here. This is gonna go down, meet in the middle. Okay, and then we just need to get them into here. Look it, they've almost, look it. This is great. The bots are fantastic. You just design, you just build, and they will just do. These are already made and ready to go. Alright, so let's get rid of that one. And we'll have these go this direction. We'll just start at the top somewhere. Do I want to do like I normally do? Okay, so normally I like to try to like sit on the edge. This is way easier. Doing it this way is, see, that's not going to cover everything. Can this come down enough? Maybe. Let's cut. Pull that down. Yes, that'll work. And then we can just trim off the edges that don't have what we need. Okay, 1.6, so that one's gone. 100 and whatever that was, 118 is a nope. That one's good. You know what else we could do? We could just, let's say line this up like that, and then copy these and just paste in like this. All right, so it's not exactly like a blueprint, but it's, you know, everything's lined up, and just trim out what you don't want. Maybe move some of the ones like this. Did that not catch? That's not catch that on there. And just kind of offset these a little bit so you're not doing undergrounds for all this stuff. Alright, and belts. Guess we need 5. Balancer into 4. We'll do like this. That's fine. Alt U right click. And just get these in. And then these 4. Oh, I should have just had it back a little bit. Whatever, that's fine. Okay, so that one's done. This one, let's get the tree deconstructor. And we're gonna remove this and this. These should be fine. And let's just do the same thing we did. Grab this one and we're gonna go... Where are we going? So we'll just do it like this and go straight down. Let's start with that. Oof. I think we're gonna have some weird tails on this one. That's not even gonna fit that. Alright, let's see if we can crunch this in a bit. No, not. And I don't want to do it this way. Alright, we'll just do it like this. We'll pull it. We'll do that. And then we'll just have that one be like that. Alright, anything under, let's say 1,000. Trim away. Oof. You know what? We're gonna take away that one. Definitely not that one. No. Yes. That one. 1K. Nope. Alright, power poles. There. Oh, no, 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 no. No bots. Don't come, don't come. Abort, abort. Pull this out. There. Pull this out, do that there. I don't know, it's just kind of nice having the ones on the front, I think. Make sure you capture all that's there. And then these guys, we can just kind of line them up however. That one's covered. Is that good? Everyone's got power, everyone's happy. Belts. Facing the right direction, please. Thank you. Yeah, you gotta love this new remote view. Like, it's awesome. Let's tuck that in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need we've got a lot of room. We need I always go to mine. 6 to 4. We're not gonna do TU. TU, that's throughput unlimited. Like, I'm fine with these. Like, these always seem to work fine for me. So I just don't bother with the larger throughput unlimited. Straight. Okay, and then copy the 4 and drag those down. Look at that, straight in. Okay, and those will let's see. Get that one some power. Is this one gonna connect in? It's gonna connect there. Okay, so that's good. What about this guy over here? Is this one got power? No. Let's just take power pole. Sure. Okay, so I'm not gonna worry about coal right now. Right. Okay. Yes, I'm not gonna worry about coal right now. We have maybe just enough. This is good to feed this for a bit. This is good to feed that and these, because we're getting rid of this soon. Yeah. Okay. So we're good for coal for now. So the goal we want to aim towards getting our actual trains. Like, I know it's been a couple of videos since we, you know, everything leading up to trains for us has been prep. But what our goals are for today, we are going to make nuclear power because we have lots of power, but we're gonna really reinforce that because we just do not want to have to worry about power at all. And then this will be next, making sure that we do not have to worry about steel and the iron. And man, that is really, is this like depleted? Like, geez. This is where, like, whenever I said that, you know, the larger size for the quote-unquote cheatiness of your settings, the larger one is more fun, and that's largely why, is because you don't necessarily have situations like this. Like, once you start getting into situations like this, like, your patch is, like, super depleted. Because it would be, like, much larger if you had a bigger space, and the more size you have, the more machines, and the more machines, the more belt density you have. So like, if you were having UPS problems, FPS and UPS problems, that's a big sucker of one of them, or at least it used to be, was if this belt is all choppy, it's like tracking each individual piece, but if it's a solid belt, it just kind of thinks of it all as moving as one solid belt. So less tracking that's needed. Okay, so how close are we to these guys? 77. We have the 48. We've got. Let's just. We're probably fine with 100, but, like, you know, just in case, let's bump this up. So let's talk about nuclear while we're waiting for this guy to finish crafting. Can I? Maybe I can just. We're gonna grab some of these and just beef the gears up a little bit. How does that sound? Doesn't look like we need to beef the pipes up. Those are fine. But the gears, they definitely need those gears. Do I have any on me? I thought I did. Probably junked them. Oh, look, there's some gears over there. 206. Yeah, you know what? Let's just grab those and toss them in. Just speed this up a little bit. I don't even know how many it needed. 50. And you're not gonna let me... Okay. See, we're helping. 83, that's exactly what we needed. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. So, maybe I should we're just gonna grab what we need. So there's a reason why I got what we needed, or got what we have. These ratios just kind of work, and again, I'll show why. Let's get to our tank. Where did our tank go? Did we park it in the right spot? Yo, where's my tank? There. I need a designated parking spot for my tank, and just be like, all right, you're only ever going there. Okay, so we're gonna get some nuclear power going, because we've got a lot of problems, and that's what Factorio is all about. A lot of problems, a lot of ways to solve them. You need to start solving them. So problem right now is power, problem right now is steel, problem right now is we're running out of stuff. We're running out of stone, we're running out of coal. The iron stuff is not nearly as saturated as it could be. we have problems, we need solutions. So let's get some solutions out of the way. So power is, we're gonna have a lot of power soon, and once we get a lot of power, that's a lot of things the bots can do, and once the bots can do a lot of, you know, power is the starting point, right? Energy saves the world. Energy, oh no. Stop. Oof, those brakes. Let's get you some power. That one was unnecessary. Alright, let's double check these while we're thinking about it. All of these have power, and these are all good. We have copper coming in, we have iron coming in here. Nice and full, ready for trains. We have iron coming in here. Now, this is obviously, you know, the same kind of problem. Like, these guys are just barely trickling in. But the thing is we're going to tap so many of these. All 2 of them right now. I think there's another iron up here somewhere. So we'll tap an iron there. I could have swore there was a copper. Oof, I thought there was another copper up here somewhere. I guess not. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Copper down here. So like there's a lot of different places. Copper over here. There's a lot of different places we can tap things, and we're gonna tap a few, but we need to get trains going. Just so you can really, so everything can like really come together. And we're also going to need, I'm just gonna go over to the, you know what I didn't do? Like, I keep forgetting to grab grenades. Not that it really matters, and I guess I did say that, like, don't remove these, but I guess since we're here, we can just do that ourselves. All right, we need an area. Bots, come and grab area, please. So let's talk about nuclear. We're gonna fit this into a city block. Is this the right section? Yes, so we're gonna have a city block section here for nuclear. So let's talk about nuclear for a second. So we have 4 nuclear reactors, and the way that the nuclear reactors work is they give 40 megawatts worth of power each. So this one has 40, 40, 40, 40, 160, except it's not 160. So if you look at the down at the bottom where it says output, they get something called a neighbor bonus. I don't know if it shows there. Neighbor bonus is 100%. So what that means is that for every other reactor that it is touching, it gets an extra 40 megawatts. So if we start in the left-hand corner, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 times 40 is 480. We will be getting 480 megawatts out of this, and that 480 megawatts needs to be able to power these heat exchangers. The heat exchangers can be responsible for 80 megawatts worth of that. Sorry, wow. 10 megawatts, you can see in the bottom right, consumes heat. 10 megawatts worth of, let's say, heat power. But we need 48 of these to kind of consume the heat that these are going to give off. And that's basically what it is, right? And then water. Oh, we did not grab. Oh, I'm going to get the, okay, let me just get the bots to send me some offshore pumps. I completely forgot. We only need 1. I'm going to bring in 3, but we really only need 1. Because 1 is going to be plenty enough to fill 48 of these. This is 10.3 per second of water, so let's just call that an even 480 of water. 1 offshore pump is going to give us 1200. So 1 offshore pump would easily produce enough water for 4 of these. We're going to slap a couple down just because, why not? What if we had like 8 of these? I'm not going to have 8 of these, but you never know, right? Like, let's just have the water here. Okay, so back to what we were doing. So we're gonna have 48 of these because that's how much this would give us. If you only had 2, let's just do this. That's 1, 2 for neighborhood bonus, 3, 4. So that would be 160 megawatts worth. You would then need 16 heat exchangers and 16 heat exchangers. And let's talk about the steam turbines. So the steam turbines consumes 60 steam per second. So how much does this give us? This gives us 103 steam per second out of the bottom. Well, if I grab my calculator, maybe I'll change the scene real quick and we'll just pop into our calculator. So 480 from the heat exchangers times 103. Yes, it is generating 103 steam. So times 103 gives us 49,440 steam per second. So we grabbed 83 of these and they consume 60 steam per second. So let's just divide this by 60 steam per second. Whoa, wait a minute. What did I mess up? Hold on. These guys are producing 103 steam per second. Okay, sorry. 103 steam per second times 48, not 480, gives us 4,944 divided by how much these can consume, which is 60, and we need 82.4. So we need 83 steam turbines. Wow, I'm so sorry. So let's do that again with 2 of these. And let's see. So that's 40 and 40 with a neighborhood bonus of 40 and 40. So 160. We would need 16 heat exchangers, and I just closed my calculator. All right, so 16 times 103 gives us 1,648 from, this is steam per second from the heat exchanger, divided by 60 per second, which gives us 27. So we would need 28 steam turbines to supply 2 reactors and 16 heat exchangers. So that's basically what's going on there. Yo, come back. There we go. So yes, that's how we got to the math that we needed for that. 4 of these, 48 of these heat exchangers, and 83-ish steam turbines. Now, because of how that is set up, because this is like a weird offset, so when we go look at the coal, this is not a weird offset. So one of these boilers produces, bottom right hand corner, output of 60 steam per second. One of these steam turbines consumes 30 steam per second. This is a just straight up even one of these, 2 of these, completely straight up, right? However, with these, with the steam turbine, because it consumes 60 per second and this produces 103 per second, the math doesn't quite add up. But thankfully, with the new fluid mechanics, we can just put all the pipes together. Like, you don't even have to have this in any real organized fashion. The only real thing that's kind of important here is the heat. So the heat going through the heat pipes, I don't want to put these on my bar. Heat going through the heat pipes does kind of like take longer to travel as it gets farther out, and it dissipates. It doesn't become as strong. So we're gonna have these guys, and they're gonna get up to a temperature of 1,000 degrees Celsius, and no part of this will ever be 1,000 degrees Celsius. The farther you get away from it, the less intense the heat will be. So what that means is we need to have the heat exchangers, in theory, we need to have the heat exchangers as close to the nuclear reactors as possible, within reason. These guys also will only produce the kind of steam that they generate. They will only produce the kind of steam that they generate if they have a minimum temperature of 500 degrees Celsius. So that means that if these guys are at 1,000, their heat is dissipating through the heat pipes. These guys are picking up some of that heat. These need to be 500 before they will actually produce, which means bare minimum they need to get to 500. So we're gonna have a little, I mentioned that because we're gonna have a little bit of a trick that we're gonna do. So before we do that, we need a couple of things. We need to convert our uranium 235 that we have going here. 24, oh boy. And we're gonna do some really weird janky stuff here. So we need to make uranium fuel cells. We need iron plate. We need 1 uranium 235 and we need 19 uranium 238. So we have the 238 here. So we're just gonna put this on a belt and we're gonna bring that guy over, let's say here. Sure. You know what, I guess we'll just to make it, we'll just do it here. So we're gonna put those guys there. We only need it on one side. Oh, that's bad. Okay, no. We're not gonna do it that way. I'm gonna go back to the way we were doing it. Yeah, this is gonna be funky, but this is how we're gonna do this. I want to get rid of this uranium in my inventory too. There. Okay, so, oops, we also need some iron plate. So to get iron plate, we need some iron ore. Conveniently, we just put some iron ore down here. How lovely is that? Well, I guess I could have just gone through here. Whatever. This is gonna be funky either way, so we're just gonna peel some of this off. Whoa. Gonna peel some of this off. Hey, get over here. And we're just gonna do something like that. I'm just gonna ghost this in because the bots don't have to worry about whatever. They can just, the bots can come fill it. Alright, so let's back this up just a bit. We need, what do we need? Ah, we got our offshore pumps, great. We need a smelter. I do not have any on me. That's awesome. But that's fine. We'll get the boss to bring that into smelter. And let's just line this up. We'll just put it over here because we're gonna have power in this direction. So smelter buddy is gonna put that there. Ore is gonna come through here, and we're gonna get ore in there. That's it. That's all we need. And then we need this to go in here. We need an output. Sure. And we'll just do this like this. Yes. This will be fine. This is going to come up through here. That should give us enough room, because I don't think that we're going to go too far outside of the roboports. Okay, so we need to try to line these up. Just doing this visibly is kind of a huge pain. Like, I don't know if... I don't think that's center, but what we can do is we can copy this between the roboports and just flip this, and we can tell that that's slightly not the center. We need to move this down at least one. Alright, let's try that again. Is that it? I'm rotating it, nothing is moving. That's perfect. Alright, so that's right in the middle. We're gonna need this guy to come in. Let's just get him somewhere in the middle. Let's just, that's probably too close. Let's just, you're gonna get close. Let's just put it that way. You're gonna get close, and then we're gonna have so we're gonna have a little bit of a particular way that we're gonna do this, because we are going to have a belt come through, and it needs to be open on both sides. What I mean by open is this can't be right up against it, but one side can be. So we're gonna have maybe something that looks like, nope, like this. And this is just gonna be a provider for our nuclear fuel cells. So we're gonna have this guy put this here. So this is going to go on the opposite side of the belt, so it's gonna go all the way on the inside. But the nuclear fuel, the uranium fuel cells, will produce, if you look at the bottom of the tooltip, spent result, depleted uranium fuel cell. So it will spit something back out, and we will filter that. We'll do it one over, because I want these to be in the middle. So we're gonna filter this and say that, I mean, I guess technically we don't have to filter these, but we're gonna do it anyways. You are gonna be depleted uranium fuel cells, and you are gonna put it on the outside belt. So now we need somewhere for them to go. This one definitely needs to be filtered, and it's gonna exit. We don't know where yet, it's gonna exit. These guys, again, we don't need to filter because they will just grab it, but just to kind of show like what is going on, we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna copy these and rotate onto the other side. Like that. Now all four of these can get some in and put some out. This one will collect all of the depleted ones and send them out on this belt, and all of the non-depleted ones, the uranium fuel cells, will come in and then go on to the inside section of the belt and be accessible here. We're also going to do something else. So this honestly isn't that big of a deal, because once we get Coverx enrichment process, which I have a very I have no idea what other players do, and I know this is a long video, but we're gonna get through this nuclear stuff before we end the video. I have a relatively unique way of dealing with this. I don't know what other players do, to be honest. I've never actually looked to see what other players do. I have a fairly unique way of dealing with this problem, and the Factorio 2.0 version of the game actually helped a lot in dealing with the problem solving. And we're going to end up using something like 50 centrifuges to deal with this problem. So anyways, we'll get there eventually, but for now, we want to kind of conserve this a little bit. Like, you can see how long it's taking for these to craft. Like, they're not like a speedy thing, but they also don't consume that fast. It's something, I think it takes like 5 minutes? I think it might be like 5 minutes for them to consume one fuel cell. But because this is temperature based, and because these guys, the heat exchangers, we're gonna need a way for the heat exchanger to get heat too. So let's just do that. And I don't know exactly how I'm gonna set this up, because I don't think I've set this up. I don't think I've set anything up inside a city block. So this is slightly new for me too. I've set up nuclear before, not a lot, because I usually just stamp down a bunch of whatever kind of blueprint that I designed for the playthrough, which I did do in a mega base. I just had like fields and fields, like whatever, like what you see here. I probably had 4 times that amount in solar fields. Maybe I'll throw a video up of that save. I kind of want to not showcase too much outside of the save. Like, that's kind of the point of this run, is I want to be able to show the context within the save. But yeah, and maybe if I reference something that I did in another build or another save, I can just show that off real quick. But I had fields and fields of solar. Nuclear was just not an issue. Plus, because of the way fluid mechanics worked before, like, nuclear was just more detrimental than it was worth. And one thing that a lot of players like to say is the most abundant resource in Factorio is space. is, you know, area. Like you don't have to make everything tight, but if you don't have everything tight, then, you know, that's more belts that you gotta have, that's more trains that you gotta have, that's more, you know, you still gotta make more stuff, so you need more materials to be able to spread your wings. But anyways, the most abundant resource in Factorio is crafting area. Anyways, I forget where we were. Okay, so we need to get heat. These guys are going to be putting on the outside. These are going to be taking from the ones being placed on the inside. I don't know how we're going to set this up, but let's just say, I guess we only needed one of these to come out. No, let's just say both. I only need one of these to come out. Something like that. And let's try to keep it uniform and on the same side. Make sure those are going to be correct. You know what? No. Let's do a double, because just make sure that all the reactors, like this reactor will help heat up this reactor and vice versa, but oh, I didn't get around. Oh, now I know what I was going for. Okay, so because the nuclear gets up to 1,000 degrees and the heat exchangers only need to be up to 500, and the heat will dissipate. Like if we were to completely fuel this thing up and keep fuel in it 100% of the time, this would stay at 1,000, and it doesn't need to. It can be as low as like 530 degrees before the heat exchangers on the end like start having problems. So we will probably we're gonna set this up in a way that the inserters inserting into the machines are going to have a circuit, and they are going to connect to their nuclear reactor and only their nuclear reactor. So within each of these nuclear reactors, we're going to click read temperature. So right now it's 15 degrees Celsius, and we're going to copy and paste that to each of them. So now we are reading temperature in all of them. That allows this guy to read the T. So we're aiming for T. And we're going to tell these enable if, go over to the signals, if T is greater than, enable if T is, no, if T is less than, we're going to do 550, 550. We're going to stay on the safe side. Enable if T is less than 550. So what that's going to do is, as the temperature goes up to 1,000 with the fuel, it'll start to settle down, and once it gets to 550, these activate and insert fuel. So something else we need to do is we're going to override stack size. Doesn't matter what your stack size is, we're going to set it to 1. We only want it to insert 1 fuel. We don't want it to insert 5 fuel, as an example. We're going to copy that and paste that into these. And this is extremely helpful, especially in space age, because nuclear reactors and nuclear power is arguably the best power that you can have on a space platform until you get to, let's just say, the next one. I keep trying not to spoil too much, but oh, look at, we've already got a whole bunch of this. Awesome. Okay, so we need to get this going. So we're just going to have a double path of this. Now, I don't know how far we're going to come out, but we need heat exchangers attached to these guys. Because we have 2 sections of heat pipes, we can split the heat exchangers. I really don't want to put these on my bar. And we're gonna have, let's just do, instead of doing, we're not gonna do it right up against the belt. We're gonna do one out, because I think we need more coming out too. So we need to have 24 over here and 24 over here, or we could have 12 over here, 12 here, 12 here, and 12 here, but they need to be kind of tight and kind of close. So if we did 12, which is going to be, let's say 4 and 3. Maybe like this. Let's try this. I don't know if I like how this lines up, but we need room for energy to. So that's 12, and these guys are going to need pipes because we need to connect the steam together. And we're going to have to get water in as well. So let's say that let's just do undergrounds both ways, and then steam comes out and undergrounds both ways. Maybe one way. I don't know. We'll see. We might need this area for steam turbines. Okay, so that's 12. So if we just mirror that, yeah, okay, I think this is gonna work. That needs to be connected. Pipe come out. Underground, underground. That's our 12 on this side. Nope, come back. Have these line up, and then steam pipe. And now when you scroll over the steam, you can see that the whole section lights up. Once we add the steam turbines, they will too. So we're gonna try to make sure that all of these stay connected. So let's think about how we're gonna get steam turbines. So if we have 83 divided by 4 quadrants, that's gonna be, let's say 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, and float 3 somewhere. So if we're trying to mirror this, maybe we can, where's my steam turbines? Maybe we can do like 3 on the opposite side, like over here. So we need to try to connect all of these together as well. That might be difficult. Well, let's start over here. Let's see how this works out. So if I need 20, I need 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 by 5? Is this gonna work? 5? This could work, I suppose. What if we did... Nope. Five. Nope, not 6. Could we get 4 wide? So these are connected here. You can see that this is connected to this. Every time I scroll over it, that lights up gray. And then we could have a pipe coming through here. Actually, the pipe doesn't really matter. We'd have the pipe coming through anything. Is that gonna fit? Oof. Oh, that just barely fits. All right, let's try that out. Well, is that 20? That's 20. And that actually, ooh, that fits our... That's 20. Okay, so that fits into our blueprint very... So we need to get some power to these guys too. What if we just... I don't want to block the water because we're gonna have water come out at some... Let's just push this all the way back here for now. We're not gonna get it within. And I guess no, I don't need to put a pipe here because these guys, watch, whenever I scroll over this, everybody lights up. All of these light up. And then I'm gonna need some kind of power over here. If I do this, and then I can do one somewhere in the middle. It'd be better to have that one there. Okay, so that's gonna be like slightly off, but let's just match this over here and see what's happening, see what goes on. And this is not connected. How do we connect to this guy? Like get closer? No. Maybe I'll put... Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take one of these because I don't have any good solid places. We're actually just gonna stamp this guy down right here. Is that gonna work? Okay, so that should be fine. Oh, and then, man, really? Like, I just need the 2? How's that gonna work? That seems like that should be fine. So let's see if we can... I can just take this whole thing here. I don't even have to flip it because it's just the same. Alright, fine. I'll flip it. Line this up like that, and then fill it in. That's 20 on this side. I got a little bit of empty space. No. We're gonna need some. We're gonna need some of this guy here. So does that work? All right. So let's just do the same thing on the other side. We're at 50 minutes. We need to wrap this up super fast. So that's 4. Let's just hurry up and do this. We know we need room for steam. We need room for heat pipe. And steam again. It's gonna come out a little bit because we need undergrounds. Oh no! I did run out of heat pipe. Just barely not enough. Wow, see, I knew I would have needed more than 100. I think I grabbed like 115. That's a fine. That's okay. The bot. So 120. All right. So let's just, before I forget, let's just know that we need 120 for this. Ah, it's already got 150. Whatever. Copy this. Is that gonna be... That's kind of symmetrical. Oh, am I not gonna have enough room on the other side? Am I not gonna have enough room for the ones down the middle? Because these are 3 wide. You know what? I probably should not have put these here. I probably should have just... Because if I'm gonna need room for 3, let's just back this up so it, when they... it's not gonna be the same as the other side. Do I really want to back the other side all the way up? It's so close to fitting our city block perfectly. So that would give us the 3 space in the middle. I think I am gonna pull these back 1. And then we could, if we just wanted to make it look nice, have a pipe running through here. We're not gonna have a pipe on the other side. We're gonna have these guys awkwardly blocking the middle. And then we need power. Where do we have that set up? That's just gonna go there. This one we piled here. Oh, it's coming together. This one we had here, right? Yep. I'm gonna have to line it up like this. I don't want to... Alright, hold on. Map view. Drag this over to here. There. Okay, so we've got 5 here. We do the pipe thing. Man, some of this was just so close to lining up like perfectly. 5 here. That fits perfectly within that. Okay, so I'm just going to give this guy power. Nope. There. And we had this, what, here? And we have plenty of room for water, which is awesome. And then this guy had something there. Well, at least we're utilizing the space properly. And we're gonna back this guy up too, because we want this to be just on that side. Okay. It's still not gonna be perfectly symmetrical because the extra 3 that we're gonna have to float out in the middle is gonna be kind of awkward, but whatever. That's all right. We made this look nice, right? How are we gonna put these 3? Do I want to have? Well, I don't. Man. Oh, look at that. This connects everything together. And then can I fit one here? Sick. Is that all 3? Or is that all? Yes, that's all of them. Okay. Uh-oh. I can't get out. And we need to get some power over there. So we need power over there. Oh my gosh, 56 minutes. I'm so sorry. I did not intend for these to be this long. We're gonna get water ASAP too. Power there. And I'm gonna have to do something awkward in the middle. Oh, I only need 1 for that single guy. That's unfortunate. And this one was here. Alright, so let's get some water. It doesn't have to be crazy far. And then these can all just go here. Uh-oh. I need this to be able to come out, so these need to go up some. And we will just, nope, underground. We're gonna have to pull this to this side. And then we can have this go up. So our water's over on the right. I don't know, we'll figure that out in a second. So the water, no. It's gonna line up with that, but I need it to come here. Oof, that lined up perfectly. And then this can just go straight into the water. Is that gonna make it to the water? It is. Yay, okay. And offshore pump, which the bot should have brought me by now. There. Oh, almost lined up. All right, that's good enough. And there we go. We have steam. Look at that power. Woo, we have so much power. Okay, so we're gonna end it there. Almost an hour-long video. So that is our nuclear power. I guess one last thing. Like, these guys are gonna have a lot of okay, I'll talk about in the next video. We need to wrap this up. Okay, so that's it for this one, and thanks for watching.